Stop chasing her. It's killing your value. That's right. Every step you take toward a woman who's already pulling away doesn't just hurt your pride, it wrecks your chances. Here's the harsh truth. When you run after someone who's lukewarm or indifferent, you become invisible in her eyes. She doesn't see your effort as admirable, she sees it as weak. And weakness? It's the fastest way to lose her respect, her interest, and any chance of a real connection. Think about this. When was the last time a woman chased a man who was desperate for her attention? Never. Women are naturally drawn to men who hold their ground, men who don't crumble under rejection or distance. But here you are, texting her nonstop, planning the next grand gesture, thinking it'll win her over. It won't. The more you run, the further she pulls away, and you've trapped yourself in a losing game. Here's what you're missing. Power in relationships doesn't come from chasing. It comes from stepping back. It comes from letting her feel your absence instead of overwhelming her with your presence. Women are wired to want what feels just out of reach. When you stop running, when you finally let her wonder where you've gone, that's when the tables turn. She starts thinking, why isn't he calling? Did I lose him? And suddenly, the roles are reversed. But this isn't just about making her miss you. It's about redefining your worth. Stop placing her on a pedestal she didn't ask for. Stop acting like she's the prize when the real prize is your time, your attention, your energy. By constantly chasing, you're giving all of that away for free, and she's not even asking for it. So here's the deal. Stop running after her. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The moment you pull back, things will shift in ways you can't imagine. She'll either step up and meet you halfway, or you'll see that she was never worth the chase in the first place. Either way, you win. 1. Chasing her is a sign of weakness. It's the truth that most men don't want to hear, but it's the key to understanding why you're not getting the results you want. When you constantly chase a woman, you give away your power. You make her the center of your world, while she sees you as a man with little self-respect. And women? They are not attracted to weakness. Think about this. Imagine you're at a party, and there's a guy who's always hovering around the same woman, trying to impress her, trying to make sure she notices him. He's the first to text, the first to call, the first to make plans. What's his value in that woman's eyes? It's practically zero. She sees him as someone who's desperate for her attention. Desperation is a huge turnoff because it shows that you're willing to put her above everything else in your life. When a man chases, he lowers his value. Now let's flip the script. Imagine another guy at the same party. He's relaxed, he's having a good time, he's not waiting around for her to notice him. He's focused on his own life, his own goals, and he's not trying to force anything. Suddenly, this woman starts noticing him. Why? Because he's not chasing her. He's not desperate. There's something powerful about a man who has his own life, his own purpose. And that's what women are drawn to. When you chase a woman, you're essentially saying, I don't have enough going on for myself, so I need you to fill that gap. This is not attractive. In fact, it makes you seem less like the man she needs and more like a boy seeking validation. Chasing is a crutch, and women can sense it. So what's the solution? Stop running after her. Focus on yourself, your passions, and your goals. When you stop chasing, you shift the dynamic. You're no longer the guy who's always available, and that makes you more intriguing. When you have your own life and your own purpose, you become a man of value, and that's what women respect and desire. Remember, stop chasing her, and you'll make her want to chase you instead. 2. She doesn't want what's too available. Here's a fact that stings. The more available you are to a woman, the less she values you. Why? Because people rarely value what they can easily get. When you're always around, texting back immediately, rearranging your schedule for her, and constantly showing her how much you care, she doesn't see your effort as love or loyalty. She sees it as predictable. And predictability kills attraction. Think about the things you truly value in life. Are they the things that came easily or the things you had to work for? The answer is obvious. People are wired to desire what feels just out of reach, what they have to earn. The same psychology applies in relationships. When a woman senses she has all of your attention without putting in any effort, she starts to feel bored. And boredom is the beginning of the end. Here's an example. Imagine you've been messaging a woman consistently for weeks. Every time she sends a text, you reply within seconds. Every time she's free, you drop everything to meet her. At first, She might have enjoyed the attention, but after a while, she starts taking it for granted. She expects you to always be available, and when you are, she doesn't appreciate it. In her mind, you've become the guy who's always there, a safety net, not a challenge. And women don't chase safety nets. They chase excitement and mystery. Contrast that with another scenario. You're still kind and respectful, but you're not always available. You don't reply instantly to every text, and you have your own plans that don't revolve around her. You're not being rude, you're just showing her that your life doesn't stop for her. Suddenly, she starts wondering, why isn't he as available? Who else is taking his attention? And just like that, her interest grows. Being too available tells her she doesn't need to invest anything to keep your attention. If you're always there, she doesn't need to try. But when you're not, she starts to see your value. She starts to realize that your attention isn't something she can take for granted. It's something she has to earn. Remember, a woman values a man who values himself. Stop being too available, and you'll see how quickly her behavior changes. 3. Stop texting, start living your life. You've probably been there before. Your phone is in your hand, and you're staring at the screen wondering if she's going to text back. You sent a thoughtful message, maybe even something funny or sweet, and now you're just waiting. Here's the problem. That waiting is draining your power. Every moment you spend glued to your phone is a moment you're not spending on yourself. Texting nonstop, chasing replies, and overanalyzing her responses. It's not only exhausting, but it also shows her that you have nothing better to do. And women notice this. When a man's life revolves around checking in with her or trying to keep the conversation going, it sends a message. I need your attention to feel good about myself. That's not attractive. Think about the men you admire. Are they spending their days waiting on a text? Or are they busy pursuing their goals, improving themselves, and enjoying life? Women are drawn to men who have a purpose, who are building something for themselves. And here's the kicker. When you're busy living your life, you won't have the time or the energy to sit around worrying about whether she texts back. That's the energy she's looking for. Instead of texting her all day, do the things you've been putting off. Hit the gym, start that project you've been talking about, or catch up with old friends. When you shift your focus from her to yourself, 2 things happen. First, you start feeling better about your life because you're investing in things that actually matter. Second, she notices the shift. She sees that you're not dependent on her for your happiness, and that's when she starts paying attention. Women don't want a man who's constantly available at the push of a button. They want someone who has a life so full and fulfilling that she has to work to be part of it. That's how you create attraction, not by flooding her with texts or always being there to respond, but by showing her, through your actions, that your life is already incredible. Stop texting her so much. Start building the life that makes her want to text you first. You'll be surprised how quickly things change when you put yourself first. 4. Your desperation turns her off. Desperation is the #1 thing that will kill any chance you have with a woman. No matter how much you like her, no matter how much you want to be around her, desperation has a way of pushing her away. Why? Because desperation reeks of neediness, and no one, man or woman, is attracted to someone who feels like they can't survive without the other person's approval. When you're desperate, you're constantly seeking validation. You send multiple texts, hoping she'll reply. You do everything you can to get her attention, and when you don't get it, you start doubting yourself. The problem is, desperation isn't attractive. It's draining. It makes her feel like she has to fill a void in your life that she didn't ask to be responsible for. Think about it. When a man is desperate, he stops being the strong, independent figure he once was. Instead, he becomes someone who is emotionally dependent, someone who is always looking for reassurance. And women can feel that. No matter how subtle, they know when a man is coming from a place of desperation. And the truth is, it makes them uncomfortable. Desperation also leads to desperation-based behavior. You'll start calling or texting too much, showing up uninvited, or asking for more than you've earned. This creates a one-sided dynamic where you're giving all of yourself, but she's not giving anything in return. And when a woman doesn't feel like she's invested in the relationship, her attraction fades. Instead of putting her on a pedestal and desperately trying to keep her interested, focus on building your own life. Have your own hobbies, friends, and ambitions. When you're living a fulfilling life, you'll no longer need her to feel complete. And here's the thing, that's when she'll start to take you seriously. By shifting your focus away from seeking validation to living a life that excites you, you make yourself far more interesting. Confidence is built on the belief that you don't need her approval to feel good about yourself, and that kind of energy is magnetic. So stop being desperate. Stop chasing her. When you stop needing her so badly, that's when she'll start wanting you. 5. Women want men who make her earn attention. Here's a wake-up call for many men. Women aren't attracted to guys who hand out attention for free. In fact, the more attention you give without her having to earn it, the less she values it. It's like giving someone a compliment every 5 minutes. Over time, those compliments lose their impact. Men need to understand that women are attracted to a challenge, to something that requires effort and investment. Too many guys make the mistake of thinking that if they're constantly attentive, if they bend over backward to please a woman, she'll be grateful and reciprocate that attention. But in reality, the opposite happens. The more you give, the less she cares. It's a simple principle of human psychology. People don't value what they don't work for. So if you want her to pay attention, you need to make her earn it. Stop being so available. Take your time with conversations. Let her come to you. Let her make an effort. This doesn't mean being aloof or rude. It means maintaining your own standards and boundaries, and only giving attention when it's earned. Many men today are caught up in this mindset of people-pleasing, where they think the key to attracting women is to be as agreeable and accommodating as possible. But the truth is, women want men who are grounded, who have standards, and who aren't afraid to stand their ground. If you're always bending over backwards to please a woman, you come across as weak, submissive, and overly dependent on her approval. Instead of chasing her approval, focus on your goals, your ambitions, your passions. When you're living a full and exciting life, you naturally become less available, less predictable, and far more attractive. Women are drawn to men who are self-assured, who are pursuing their own interests with passion and purpose. It's not about making her work harder for your attention. It's about ensuring that she sees your value. Men need to wake up and realize that attraction isn't about being overly accommodating. It's about maintaining your own worth, your own sense of purpose, and letting her come into your world. When you make her earn your attention, it forces her to raise her own investment, and that's when attraction can truly develop. So stop giving away your attention for free. Hold yourself to higher standards, maintain boundaries, and make her earn it. That's how you attract the right kind of woman and hold her attention. 6. Give her space. Let her wonder. One of the biggest mistakes men make is smothering a woman with too much attention. Here's the reality. Attraction needs space to grow. When you're constantly in her face, checking in, or trying to stay in her thoughts, you leave her with no room to miss you, no room to wonder about you. And wonder is one of the most powerful emotions in attraction. Women are curious by nature. They are drawn to what's unknown, what's mysterious. When you step back and give her space, it creates a vacuum that her mind naturally wants to fill. She starts asking questions. Why hasn't he called? What's he up to? Who is he with? That space you create is where her interest deepens. It's where the magic happens. Many men fear that giving a woman space will make her lose interest. But the opposite is true. Being constantly available doesn't make her feel secure. It makes her feel smothered. You're essentially telling her that you don't have your own life, your own passions, or your own priorities. And no woman is attracted to a man who seems to have nothing going on. Giving her space doesn't mean ignoring her or playing mind games. It means stepping back and letting her come to you. It means living your life fully and letting her see that you're perfectly fine without her constant attention. When you focus on yourself, whether it's your career, hobbies, or personal growth, you naturally become more attractive because you show that you're a man with direction and purpose. Think about it. The men women talk about, obsess over, and chase are the ones who are harder to figure out. These men don't text back instantly, don't cancel their plans just to meet her, and don't revolve their world around her. They give her the space to wonder, to think about them, to miss them. That's what keeps her interested. So stop crowding her. Stop always being the first to text, the first to call, the first to check in. Give her the gift of space and let her imagination do the work for you. When you let her wonder about you, she'll naturally start investing more in you. That's when you know you've got her attention. 7. The power of your absence. There's a powerful truth that most men overlook. Sometimes, the most attractive thing you can do is disappear for a while. When you're always available, always around, and always giving attention, you lose your value. But when you step back and let her feel your absence, that's when the attraction starts to build. Think about it. People value what they can't have. When you're always there, it becomes predictable. It becomes easy. And that's not how attraction works. If you're constantly giving her all your attention, she stops wondering about you. There's no mystery, no excitement, no chase. But when you pull back, when you let her experience your absence, it creates something she can't ignore: curiosity. Your absence forces her to wonder about you. What are you doing? Why haven't you reached out? Who are you spending time with? She starts thinking about you more because you're no longer in the picture 24/7. This is a key part of attraction that a lot of guys miss. You have to make her miss you in order for her to truly value you. Here's the problem. Too many men feel like they need to be in constant contact with a woman to keep her interested. They text all day, respond to every message within minutes, and feel like they need to be available at all times. The reality is, this only makes you seem desperate and weak. A man who has his own life, his own plans, and his own interests is far more attractive. When you're absent, it's not about playing games. It's about giving her the space to miss you. It's about letting her realize that your attention is valuable and not something she can take for granted. The absence isn't permanent, but it's enough to reignite her interest. It's like when you take a break from working out. You come back stronger, more focused, and ready to hit your goals harder. So if you want her to chase, if you want her to value your time and attention, give her the gift of your absence. Stop being so available, stop chasing her, and watch how she starts seeking you out. When you make yourself scarce, you create a void that she'll naturally want to fill. That's the power of your absence. 8. If she's not chasing, she's not interested. This is one of the harshest truths, but it's also one of the most important to understand. If she's not chasing you, she's not interested. Women are not passive when they like a man. When a woman is truly attracted to you, she will put in effort. If she's not reaching out, not making plans, and not showing you that she cares, then the reality is clear. She doesn't feel that spark. Now, before you get upset, let's break this down. Attraction isn't about being nice or always being available. It's not about sending flowers or always texting her to check in. Attraction is about interest, desire, and effort. If she's interested in you, she'll make it known. She won't need you to chase her or always be the one making the effort. She will be the one who puts herself in a position to get to know you more, spend time with you, and make you a priority in her life. Here's the thing. Women have choices. They don't just settle for any man who's available. They want someone who makes them feel something. If a woman is into you, she'll find a way to let you know. She'll ask you about your day, make plans, and initiate contact. But when she's not chasing, it's a clear sign that her interest level is low. The problem is, many men don't pick up on this early enough. They'll continue chasing, texting, and trying to win over someone who's simply not interested. It's painful, but it's also a waste of time. And the longer you chase, the less attractive you become. When you're always the one pursuing, you're positioning yourself as someone who isn't busy, who isn't in demand, and nobody wants what's easy to get. Understand this. If she's not initiating, if she's not making time for you, then she's either not interested or doesn't value you in the way you deserve. And no matter how much you like her, it's not your job to convince her to change her mind. Women who are truly interested will make it clear. They will chase you. If she's not doing that, it's time to move on. Don't waste your time pursuing someone who doesn't value you. Instead, focus on your own growth and let the right woman come to you. 9. You're not the prize. You're a man. Here's a truth that might sting a bit. You're not the prize. You're a man. This whole idea that you have to be a prize for a woman to want you is completely flawed. The real prize is her, the woman who chooses you. Too many men get caught up in thinking they need to earn a woman's affection by being the best, most impressive version of themselves. But the reality is, if you're constantly trying to win her over, you've already lost sight of what really matters. The problem is that too many guys fall into the trap of thinking they need to be perfect to attract a woman. They think if they have the right body, the right car, the right job, or the perfect personality, a woman will automatically fall for them. But here's the catch. Being a man is not about being perfect. It's about being real, authentic, and grounded in who you are. If you're chasing perfection, you're not living your true life, you're chasing validation, and that's never attractive. This whole "you're the prize" mentality also puts you in a position where you're waiting for her approval. You start to think you need to impress her at all costs, and that changes the dynamic. You're no longer a man on his own mission. Now you're a man seeking approval. And no woman wants a man who is seeking her validation. She wants a man who has his own life, his own purpose, and who sees her as an equal, not someone he needs to impress. Understand this. You're not here to perform for her. You're here to live your life, pursue your goals, and be the man you were always meant to be. If she's interested, great. If not, that's okay too. But your worth isn't dependent on her acceptance. You don't need to earn her affection, because your worth is already built into who you are as a man. So stop thinking you need to prove yourself. Be a man, live with confidence, and let her come to you. When you stop chasing validation, when you stop trying to win her over, that's when you become truly attractive. You're not the prize, she is. And when you start living like that, the right woman will recognize your value. 10. Stop running. Start attracting respect. If you want to get her attention and respect, you need to stop running after her and start commanding respect through your actions. Running after her all the time only shows desperation. The key to earning her respect is being someone who has enough self-worth to stand still and let her come to you. Men who are constantly chasing are often seen as weak, insecure, or lacking in self-respect. Here's the thing. Respect is not something you can demand by begging or pleading. It's something you earn by demonstrating self-confidence and showing that you have your own life, your own values, and your own standards. When you stop running after her, you're showing her that you value yourself more than her approval. Women respect men who have boundaries, who aren't afraid to walk away if the relationship doesn't align with their values. Too many men make the mistake of thinking that chasing a woman will somehow make her respect them more. They shower her with attention, gifts, and gestures, hoping to get her to like them. But all they're doing is showing her that they're willing to put her on a pedestal. And that's not respect. It's desperation. Desperation is unattractive, and it never earns respect. Instead, when you stop running after her, when you stop seeking her attention and approval, you naturally start to gain her respect. You start to show her that you have your own life and that you don't need her to complete you. Respect is earned when you maintain your standards, when you remain true to yourself, and when you walk away if something isn't right. When you stop running, you stop chasing her approval and start demanding respect. Women are drawn to men who stand their ground. A man who has his own purpose and priorities will always command more respect than one who drops everything just to chase after a woman who isn't giving the same energy in return. Stop running after her approval and instead focus on attracting respect through your actions. Stand firm in your worth, never compromise your values, and always remember, you don't have to chase. The right woman will respect you when she sees you respecting yourself. Here's the hard truth. If you're constantly running after her, you're telling her with every step that she's more important than you. And the moment she senses that, her respect for you diminishes. Women don't chase men who chase them. They chase men who know their worth and aren't afraid to walk away. Stop running, and you'll see her start to notice your value. And if she doesn't, she's not the one for you, and you've dodged a lifetime of chasing someone who never wanted to stay. Take a moment to think about your own experiences. Have you been caught in this cycle of chasing? Have you stopped running after her before? What happened? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear from you. Let's connect and build a community of men who are done chasing and ready to lead their own lives with purpose and respect. I'll be replying to as many of you as I can because this is about more than just one video. It's about changing how we approach ourselves and relationships forever. Stop running, watch what happens, and take back your power. Thank you for watching, and as always, this is the Stoic approach to life.